All right, boys, are you ready for some Shovel Knight?
Definitely, Barack. This game is some high-quality entertainment.
Well, I haven't played a video game since Pong came out, so let's see what we're in for.
Joe, we used to play Mario Kart Wii back at the White House during my presidency.
Oh yeah, that's right, Barack. I love Mario. He was a big part of my childhood, just like the show Backyardigans.
Backyardigans defined a lot of kids' childhoods, but definitely not yours, Sleepy Joe. When you were a kid, dinosaurs roamed the land. Your childhood was so long ago that I would not be surprised if you saw Jesus performing miracles.
Good one, Trump. Anyway, let's focus on the game for a bit.
Man, look how rich they are. Maybe I'll cosplay as Shovel Knight for my next presidential speech.
Donald, your fat ass wouldn't be able to fit in a suit of armor, but wow, does Shield Knight look lovely. Do you think she'd be a good match for the Joe Obliterator?
Probably not, Joe, considering she isn't real, and also that you're married to Joe.
Wait, since when do I have a wife?
Since the Stone Age. Anyway, damn, my boy Shovel Knight got done dirty, it seems. But it's okay, though. The great ones like me overcome the hardest of challenges. And Shovel Knight is definitely one of the great ones.
Shovel Knight is definitely one of the great ones. Not so sure about you, Donald.
Screw you, Barack.
Anyway, we're going to be up against the Enchantress's Order of No Quarter. Are you boys ready to embark on our greatest adventure yet?
You bet. I'm ready to show the entirety of America that I am the greatest player of platformer games.
Greatest player of platformer games? Yeah, we'll see about that, Donnie boy. Can't wait to see you die 50 times per level.
Just so you know, Donald, I haven't played this game in a while, so I may be a bit rusty, but I'll do my best to keep up with you.
Don't worry, Obama. The Donster will guide you through all the challenges this game has to offer.
Now that my dementia pills are finally taking effect, I must say that I loved this game when it came out. The simplistic 8-bit graphics and the intuitive gameplay brought me back to the good old days of Super Mario Bros. On the Nintendo Entertainment System. Life was so much simpler back then.
I wholeheartedly agree, Joe. Not to mention, this game is also inspired by other classics like Mega Man and Castlevania. Yacht Club Games, the developers of Shovel Knight, cooked a gourmet meal on their first try with this game.
Well, anyway, boys, what have you all been up to? It's been a while since we've had time to hang out and play together like this.
Same as usual, Donald. I've just been taking care of the wife and kids and gaming on my spare time. I've been playing that new Mario and Luigi game that just came out. And I gotta say, the first hours of the game are really boring. But it gets better after that.
Yeah, for real, I've been playing it too and fell asleep during the first 2 hours of gameplay. Maybe it's just me, but I just don't find the story and characters interesting so far, which makes me not care about what's going on.
Dan, Obama, first death of the playthrough already? I thought you would at least make it all the way through this level.
Maybe I'm playing as you cosplaying as Shovel Knight, and so that is why I died, as there's no way you would be able to jump across a small gap like that in real life.
He got you there, Donald.
Is my weight the only joke you guys have?
No, but I had to defend myself after you made fun of my death. Anyway, have you guys gotten a chance to play Super Mario Party Jamboree?
I sure had, Barrack. I was so glad to see Mario Party return to its former glory with a new original entry. I played the game with some friends yesterday, and I lost my stars and chance time, but because I am the best at Mario games, I was able to make a goated comeback and win the game anyway.
Donald, we all know your Cheeto ass isn't capable of making a comeback in a luck-based game like Mario Party.
Joe, I'll have you know that Shigeru Miyamoto himself gave me a seal of approval, as he considers me the greatest Mario player to ever walk on this earth. Just ask him when you see him at Super Nintendo World or something.
I highly doubt that Trump, if anyone here is the best at Mario games, it would definitely be me, as I currently hold the any % world record on both Mario's Pinball Land and Hotel Mario. Put some respect on my name, boys.
Ain't no way you're asking for respect after name-dropping Mario's Pinball Land and Hotel Mario. Anyway, Sleepy Joe, remember that time I beat you in Obama and Mario Party 6 by getting all of the bonus stars? How does that not prove my tremendous skill at Mario games?
Well, that's simple, Donald. 2 of the 3 bonus stars are luck-based. You have the star that is awarded to whoever lands on the most question mark spaces, which is completely luck-based. And then there's the star for whoever uses the most items, which is technically also luck-based, as depending on how fast you travel the board, you're able to reach the item spaces faster and get free items simply by passing them. You were constantly getting high rolls during that game and even buying items from the shop when you were near broke, so it's obvious why you were able to secure your item star as well.
You sound like such a nerd right now, Joe, and how come you didn't mention the fact that I got the minigame star? I literally destroyed both of you in the minigames, which you can't tell me isn't skill-based. So face it, Joe, I am simply better than the both of you at Mario games.
Whatever, Donald, I'm getting tired of your self-praise, so let's talk about the game we are currently playing. I wanted to ask what do you guys think of this first level. I believe it is a masterclass in teaching the player how to play the game without showering them with boring tutorials left and right.
Honestly, at this level does a great job at just letting the player get a feel for how the game plays. You can tell they use the same approach as Super Mario Bros. When it came to teaching without speaking. Like the game never teaches you the shovel drop, but you are forced to learn it when you realize the only way to proceed is by going down. So you'll inevitably jump and press down, and there you go, you learn how to perform a new action without needing a tutorial.
I don't get why so many games today feel the need to bog down their experience with non-stop tutorials. This may not be the worst example, but I hate every time I start a new Pokemon game they have to teach me how to catch Pokemon. Like I get it, Game Freak, your games are for 3-year-olds, but I already know how to catch a damn Pokemon. I've been doing it since Red and Blue.
Speaking of Pokemon, what are you guys' favorite? Mine has to be Braviary, as he represents America perfectly, though I hate that I can't use him in playthroughs, because some wise guy at Game Freak thought it would be an amazing idea to make him evolve at level 54. But that doesn't stop me from loving this patriotic eagle.
And mine is Charizard. He is the coolest creature in all of fiction, and there's a good reason why Game Freak continues to glaze him every chance they get. I remember pulling a first edition base set Charizard card on my very first booster pack, but unfortunately one of my dogs ate it a couple of years after I got it, and I never pulled another Charizard card ever again.
Good choices, boys. Anyway, back to the game. Obama, you've been dying an awful lot. Is Sleepy Joe's dementia rubbing off on you, perhaps?
Donald, I literally told you that I haven't played this game in a while, plus this game wasn't originally designed with multiplayer in mind, so that makes it harder to play in of itself.
All I hear are excuses, Bart. Maybe try to get better at the game, and then you may just be goated like me.
Donald, I just know you're going to choke sooner or later in this game, then you won't talk so high and mighty about your gamer skills.
Now, Joe, just you wait. He's going to find an excuse as to why he fumbled once it finally happens, and then continue to act like he's the best.
Like I told you both before, I am the greatest player at platformer games, and I am going to make damn sure America can see it firsthand. Anyway, Barrett, the boss should be up ahead pretty soon, so I wanted to ask, are you ready to beat his bum ass?
You know I'm Trumpy for if we don't win first try, we will be ridiculed on national television for being the first people to die to the first boss of Shovel Knight.
I guess we'll see if the so-called best player at platformer games is capable of beating the very first boss of the game. I mean, it would be really embarrassing if after all that boasting you lose to him. Like that's the equivalent of dying in 1-1 in the original Super Mario Brothers.
All right, Black Knight, I ain't afraid of your edgy, emo-looking ass. Get ready for a presidential beatdown.
I see you're getting a bit excited there, Trumpy. Let's cook this edgelord like fried chicken.
You know what, Barack? It's finally time for me to show the entirety of America why I am the greatest player in the history of games.
Damn, so now you're the greatest player in the history of games? Okay, then, Donnie boy, I'm just going to wait for your inevitable failure along with Barack.
Wait, Joe, what did I do? I thought we were on the same side.
Sorry, Obama, but when you ally yourself with Tony the Tiger over here, you're just doomed to fail.
I guess being called a serial mascot isn't the worst thing in the world, but you're wrong about us failing Sleepy Joe. Obama, lock in. We're gonna make quick work of this fool who only listens to Nightcore music and whose favorite Sonic character is Shadow the Hedgehog.
Understood, Trumpy, and yeah, this guy definitely writes Sonic fan fictions depicting the characters in an edgy and quote-unquote mature setting like Bro Sonic is for kids. It's not meant to be Assassin's Creed.
Are we not going to talk about how Donald just died while Obama still had full health? So much for being the greatest player in the history of games, and you definitely ain't no best player at platforming games either.
Yeah, Trump, I can't defend you on this one.
Shut up and let me cook, damn it.
Finally, the moment I've been waiting for. Donald, you burned down the entire kitchen with your so-called cooking, and to think you talked all that smack about how you were going to show America that you were the best player at platformer games. So how does it feel to be a failure in front of your entire audience?
I am utterly ashamed that I lost to the first boss of this game, but it's okay though. The greatest people in life have to stumble in order to achieve the peak of their greatness.
You can never be humble. Now can you, Trumpy?
What did you expect from the man with the biggest ego in all of humanity?
Well, let's hope that your skill issue doesn't get in the way this time.
Excuse me?
Donald, don't pay attention to Barack and just focus on getting the win.
Whatever you say, Joey boy, I'll make sure I don't fumble the bag like that ever again, so that the both of you will finally respect me and praise me like I deserve.
Maybe if you weren't such an egotistical prick, then maybe we'd respect you a bit.
Well, it doesn't matter now, as we finally beat this bum ass, and I would have been able to do it the first time if China didn't give my controller Joy-Con drift.
Donald, how in the world is China supposed to give your controller Joy-Con drift? Just admit you suck at the game already.
Let's put our focus back on the game, boys. We may have defeated Black Knight for now, but they'll be returning a total of 2 more times, meaning in total we'll be giving them 3 spankings. I wonder where I've heard that one before.
Maybe in another universe where the 3 of us play golf with your friends, the game of life and risk. But now I'm sounding like Sleepy Joe and his nonsense.
Oh, Shield Knight, my beloved, don't you worry, Papa Joe. We'll save you and bring you back to the Biden bunker so we can Netflix and chill while eating double chocolate chip ice cream.
Joe, the only people who've ever stepped foot on the Biden bunker are the male members of the Secret Service and your son Hunter. No woman would ever want to step foot on a creepy place like that.
Yeah, Joe, even I can't bring myself to step foot there, not with all My Little Pony posters and anime girl figures.
You guys are just haters. My Little Pony is a goated series that is simply disguised as a little girl's show. The character writing and the lore is just insane.
Looks like I'm still the best at platformer games after all, Sleepy Joe. Just look by how much I'm beating Obama.
Donald, you know these stats literally mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. It's just a way to compare how both players did during the level. But sure, you did beat me when it came to collecting more gold, and you definitely died the least. Also, you never told us what your favorite Pokemon was earlier when I asked the question. Maybe you couldn't think of one on the spot, or were just focused on the game.
Well, if you must know Barrack, my favorite is Mr. Mime. This Pokemon makes the finest of walls using his psychic powers. And with him around, I wouldn't need to build a wall, as I would just have him build one for me.
I'm not surprised you picked a Pokemon known for making walls, but if you ask me, your favorite Pokemon should be Gumshoes, because he looks exactly like you.
Yeah, Trump, just look at him. It's like Game Freak was paying tribute to you with this Pokemon.
Gumshoes is definitely one of my favorites too, as I designed him myself, believe it or not. And it is the first and only Pokemon to be designed by the great Donald J. Trump.
The day you are allowed to design a Pokemon, the Pokemon Company will be on the streets begging for money.
Not that I would give them any money, considering they spat on the face of their fans and gave them the most sorry excuse for a Pokemon game in the form of Scarlet and Violet, and then had the nerve to offer DLC for $35. Imagine spending $95 on a product that thinks the absolute lowest of you as a person.
Oh, Shield Knight, baby, you'll have to forgive me, but I think my heart belongs to Mona now.
Seriously, Joe, you're sipping for the green-skinned girl now?
Now, Trump, let's not be racist here. You know green people can be goated. Just remember the hit movie Shrek.
You make a good point, Barack. Shrek was a sensation when it came out. I even remember hosting the sequel Shrek 2 at the Trump Tower just because of how excited everyone was to see it.
Yeah, well, you know what movie came out the same year as Shrek? Yeah, that's right. It's Pixar's Monsters, Inc.
Oh, Joe, now you got me thinking about the golden age of Pixar films, Toy Story 1 through 3, The Incredibles, Finding Nemo, and even Up are all such incredible movies that still hold up to this day.
Don't forget about Cars, Barack. I still wear my Lightning McQueen Crocs to this day.
Of course you do, Sleepy Joe, and I'm sure you sleep with a Paw Patrol blanket too.
No, Donald, I've never even seen a single episode of Paw Patrol. Anyway, I really miss the golden era of Pixar films. It seems like after the masterpiece that was Toy Story 3, they got comfortable and stopped putting as much effort into the quality of their films, since they knew people were going to go to watch them anyway.
And right they were, because everyone lost their marbles when Toy Story 4 got announced. I remember going to watch the movie on release with Michelle and the kids, just for all of us to be disappointed at how garbage the movie ended up being.
Seriously, that romance between Woody and Bo Peep was so cringe-like, guys. This is a movie about toys. And the fact the ending is Woody leave the gang just to stay with her is an insult to Woody's character. The Woody I know would never betray his friends, and especially his human owner, just to be with some old hag of a toy.
True that Trumpy and they also butchered Buzz Lightyear's character by making him an idiot again, just like how he was in the first movie, even though by the end of the movie and in the movies after it, Buzz is actually the smartest character of the group alongside Woody, both being highly respected among their friends.
Yeah, I really hope that for the next Toy Story movie, they're able to retcon the events of 4. I heard somewhere that the 5th movie is supposedly going to have the theme of technology, basically how kids these days have left toys behind in favor of their smart devices like phones and tablets. The movie has a lot of potential if this is the case, so perhaps Toy Story 5 could be the return to form we've been waiting for.
I sure hope so, Joe. Anyway, Obama, we finally have enough gold to purchase our very first relic item. Oh yeah, for those watching who've never played Shovel Knight before, the relics are basically the power-ups of the game, that help us deal with enemies and stage hazards more comfortably.
I'm glad we're finally getting some variety, as it was getting a bit stale just swinging our shovels around for like 10 minutes straight.
It's crazy how we've gone this long without talking about this, but we're playing a game about a knight who fights with a damn shovel. Like, was bro too broke to afford a sword, or a lance that you had to steal some old man's shovel and call it a weapon?
Joe, I thought you would know this considering your age, but back in ancient times, shovels were a type of weapon. Shovel Knight's weapon is actually called the shovel blade, so it's probably got some sharp edges to it, but we can't see them because it's all 8-bit.
You may be right, Trump, but anyway, it's my turn to play, so let's storm King Knight's castle like I stormed into the White House back in 2020.
I have a strange suspicion that it won't be King Knight waiting for us at the end of the level, and instead some other kind of king.
Oh, don't say such nonsense, Barack. Of course, it's going to be King Knight at the end of the level. I mean, it literally said so in the overworld that this is the lair of King Knight.
Yeah, Barack, I don't know what you're on anyway. Boys, let's talk about something new. What are y'all's favorite Smash Bros. Game? For me, it would have to be Super Smash Bros. Brawl, since it has the most amount of content out of any Smash game to date. And you can't forget about the goated mode, the Subspace Emissary, featuring full CGI cutscenes where our favorite characters interacted and fought to defeat a greater evil. I know the game gets a lot of hate for the slow-paced gaming compared to previous entries, but when you're just looking to have a casual, fun time with friends, I think this game still holds up in that regard.
Sleepy Joe, I think you meant to say slow-paced gameplay, but yeah, Brawl was definitely a great game for its time, and a lot of its features are unfortunately not in Ultimate, like the trophies and of course the story mode with CGI cutscenes. And no, I am not counting World of White, as it is essentially just the events mode from previous games, but now turned into a quote-unquote story mode. Despite this, Ultimate is still my favorite game in the series, and that honestly just comes down to the game having the best feeling gameplay in the series, as well as the best video roster of characters of all time. It is truly the definitive Smash Bros. Experience.
While it is true that Ultimate has the best video game roster in all of gaming, Super Smash Bros. Melee is what real men play when they want to settle an argument. Sleepy Joe, I sometimes wish we could have fought for office in 2020 over a best-of-5 set in Melee, because I would have easily destroyed your senile ass, giving me my second term a lot sooner. But jokes aside, boys, I am just a sucker for competitive games, and Melee is just slightly better than Ultimate when it comes to this, in my opinion.
Well, I don't think our country would appreciate the presidency being decided over a video game, considering most people our age think gaming is for kids.
It's sad that people our age disregard video games as a kid's thing when they're much more than that and can be just as fun, if not more, than watching movies or TV shows.
Yeah, honestly, I have more fun playing games than doing any of those other things.
Maybe through watching us play on national television, they'll change their mind. Anyway, boys, we are about to purchase our second relic from some hobo living here, it seems. Actually, wait, didn't we buy our first relic from him back at the village a few minutes ago? How did he get here so quickly?
Donald's name is Chester. He's just a traveling merchant looking to make some gold from wandering travelers. Pretty funny that he's called Chester, because you typically find him inside of a chest.
Yeah, Joe, this game is full of wacky characters. I mean, we didn't comment on it because we were too busy talking to each other, but back in the village, we literally saw a horse lady wearing a dress. Like, whoever came up with that idea must have been on some shrooms or something.
Maybe it was Sleepy Joe who told Yacht Club Games to aid the horse lady wearing a dress, as only he could have come up with something so stupid. Probably during one of his 50-hour naps where he dreams about things that totally didn't happen, like Homer Simpson becoming the President of the United States.
Except that actually did happen, Donald, as you are literally Homer Simpson in every way. I mean, have you looked at yourself in the mirror?
Joseph Robinette Biden, if you fat shame me one more time, I'm going to unplug your life support machine. Do you understand me?
Calm down, Trump. You know Biden is just messing around with you.
Hey, Obama, you sound a bit different all of a sudden.
Yeah, Joe, I've been pretty chill this whole time, but I can't let Trumpy get too aggressive on you.
Well, my bad for getting all riled up there, boys. Anyway, this castle's architecture is simply tremendous. I wonder if we could get the White House looking like this someday.
I don't know about that, Donald. The White House's look is so iconic that to change it so drastically like this would make it lose its essence.
Donald, the only reason you want to remodel the White House after this place is because you want to feel like a king.
Is there something wrong with that, Joe? Or perhaps you're just jealous because no one has ever referred to you as a king unlike me?
Donald, the only time you've been called a king is when you became the #1 customer at Burger King so much so that you yourself became the titular character of the Burger King himself.
Good one, Joe. I always knew the guy on the cover of those Burger King games for Xbox looked a lot like Donald.
Obama, did you seriously play those Burger King games for Xbox? I thought being the any percent world record holder of Mario's Pinball Land and Hotel Mario was embarrassing enough, but now you're going to tell me you have the world record in those Burger King games too.
You seriously twisted his words like crazy Trump. All he said was he played the games, not that he got the speedrun record in them.
No, Joe, I never even played them. Here, take this dementia pill. But yeah, I simply know they exist, but have never played them. But I did play M&M's Kart Racing in the past with my kids.
M&M's Kart Racing was definitely one of the games of all time.
There's probably some kid out there who grew up with that game back in the day and he's now a young adult feeling nostalgic about it. Imagine feeling nostalgic over a heaping pile of trash.
Can't be as bad as Gen Alpha kids feeling nostalgic over Skibidi Toilet 20 years from now.
What are you on, Obama? Skibidi Toilet is awesome, just like my Skibidi Riz when I'm hitting on Shield Knight, my beloved.
Joe, I never want to hear you say Gen Alpha slang ever again, please, and thank you.
Don't be hating, Donald. Maybe if you learned how to Skibidi Riz, you could salvage your relationship with Melania.
You keep my wife's name out of your fossil mouth, I'll be the judge of how I handle my marriage problems.
Boys, I think it's best if we don't bring up our problems during our gaming session, especially if this is going on to be airing on television.
Yeah, you're right, Obama. I'm sorry about that, Trumpy.
All is forgiven, Joe, and I must say your gameplay so far is better than I expected. Maybe you won't be such a burden in the playthrough after all.
I guess you're right, Donald. I haven't died a single time yet, and by this point, Obama had already died like twice back in the first level. Let Papa Joe cook.
Why am I catching strays all of a sudden?
This is what happens when Sleepy Joe starts feeling himself Obama. But just you wait, I can already smell his confidence. We'll bite him soon enough.
Like hell, it will Donnie Boy. In fact, I bet you my life savings I won't die a single time during this entire level.
Joe, do you even realize what you're saying?
Obama, relax. You know I don't make bets unless I know I'm going to win.
Yeah, we'll see about that, Sleepy Joe, anyway. We are approaching the hardest part of the level, so if you're going to die now, is your time to do it so I can get that $1 billion check from you later today.
Oh, come on, man, not like this.
Sleepy Joe, you didn't even try with that one. You clearly saw me shovel dropping on the book to make those platforms appear, so all you needed to do was follow behind me. In fact, I even waited for you to do so, and yet you still go ahead and plummet to your doom. I feel so sorry for you that I won't even take your money at this point, considering you'll need it for the next time you fall off the stairs of the Air Force One.
Yeah, Joe, that was just embarrassing. You didn't even die at the hardest part of that section.
Obama, you don't get to talk. If that was you playing, that would be your 5th death by now.
I guess I let the pressure get to me, boys, but I promise I won't mess up like that once we're at the boss.
I sure hope so, Joe. We got to make up for last boss fight by beating this one on our very first try.
Who dares enter the lair of King George?
George, what the hell are you doing here?
Do I know you peasants? I don't believe I've seen any of you 3 boys before, but that doesn't matter. I am King George, one of the Knights of the Order of No Quarter. The Enchantress has asked me to defend this territory from anyone who dares to trespass, so I'll have to dispose of you boys immediately.
I guess Obama was right after all, but this isn't the George we know from our world.
Respect me, boys. Bow down to me. Praise me.
I may not understand what's going on right now, but we will definitely not be bowing down to you or praising you, so prepare to eat the dirt from our shovels.
Like hell I will, peasant. You will be the ones licking the dust from my boots.
George, you're already looking pretty beat up. Maybe you should give up already?
Silence, peasant. I don't want to hear such nonsense from my soon-to-be slave.
Shut your Middle East ass up, George. We've already given you the presidential spanking.
Screw all of you. I'll make sure the Enchantress hears of this.
Well, that sure was strange. I wonder if we will encounter more familiar figures like that in the future.
Yeah, most likely, Joe. The Enchantress must be playing tricks on us by using people we know as her loyal subjects.
Then maybe Black Knight is also someone we know, but I wonder why they didn't speak to us last time. Perhaps they just want to conceal their identity for now.
Who knows, honestly. Anyway, Trump passed the controller. It's time me and Joe get to cook together.
Sure thing, Obama. Just try not to die too much this time.
Don't you worry, Donald, me and Barack are the Democratic duo, so we are guaranteed to get this level done in a jiffy.
Definitely, Joe. Also, this stage looks pretty spooky, don't you boys think?
Hey, Joe, is your Biden bunker nearby? Because this definitely seems like the type of place where you would hang out.
Donald, if you're saying that because this is a cemetery, then first of all, screw you, and secondly, my bunker is in the basement of the White House. You aren't?
Either way, Sleepy Joe, both your bunker and this place creeped me the hell out, so hopefully the boss isn't any creepier than this.
Anyway, boys, let's relax and talk about something. What are y'all's favorite knight in this game, not counting the main character, Shovel Knight, of course?
I would talk about my darling Shield Knight, but you guys won't like that, so I guess my favorite knight is Propeller Knight. I just think he's a silly guy with his funny propeller helmet that allows him to fly, and he's also quite the gentleman too, so I'm sure his Riz game with the ladies is top tier.
Well, my favorite is King Knight. It pains me that George had to go and ruin him for this playthrough, but King Knight is actually quite the tremendous character. He is a self-made king who doesn't take crap from anyone and does whatever he wants. He even has his own campaign in this game, so you know he's goated.
Of course, your favorite is the one who resembles your egotistical personality.
His ego is only as big as it is because he knows he is the best among his people. Just like how I am the best among gamers, and I will be making gaming great again with my presence.
Your presence might make us play worse, if I'm being honest. Anyway, my favorite knight is Plague Knight. Just like King Knight, this little rascal also has his own campaign in this game, but the reason I like him is because of his love story with Mona, and also that he fights throwing bombs like a madman.
Obama, you could have picked any other knight, but of course you picked the one who throws freaking bombs. I could make a Yemen joke right about now, but I won't, because it's been done to death. But I will say Plague Knight's campaign is one of the best experiences in all of gaming. The movement abilities Plague Knight has are simply insane, and it is a shame that most people write it off simply because it's a bit hard to master.
I agree, Donnie. I swear everyone complains about how it's hard to control Plague Knight and then say he has the worst campaign out of all the 4 playable knights. They are basically saying the game is mid just because they suck at it, like just a good one.
Seriously, Obama, people need to stop calling games bad just because they aren't very good at them. Like, it's okay to not be good at certain games, but that doesn't make the game bad. As unfortunate as it is, not every game is easy to learn and do well in.
Well, I'm not like most people, Sleepy Joe, so for me, I can pick up any game and immediately start playing at a professional level. Just you both wait until the next Smash game drops. I'm going to be breaking skulls at EVO 2027 or whenever the next Smash game comes out.
Whatever you say, Trumpy, anyway. I really don't like the darkness gimmick of this level. Hindering the player's ability to see what's going on should never be used as a game mechanic. Like, sure, the flashing lights help you see what's ahead, but you have to pay close attention and then make sure to platform correctly so you don't die.
Yeah, I agree, Obama. It seems like a pretty lazy mechanic considering the level is otherwise pretty good, but I don't think they overuse it too much, so it's not that bad in my opinion.
I think you're both just bad at the game. Just calculate your jumps well, and then the darkness mechanic won't even matter. If I was the one playing right now, I wouldn't be struggling with it like you two seemingly are.
You say that, and yet you literally died to the first boss of the game, despite claiming to be the best player at platformer games, and later even the greatest player in the history of games. So I highly doubt you wouldn't struggle with this.
The great ones like me are just built different, Sleepy Joe. And what happened during the first boss was rigged anyway, so it's like it never happened. Plus I made up for it by spanking King George's bum ass. And even though I am not playing right now, my presence alone will be enough to help you both make a fool out of whoever is waiting for us at the end of this level.
I pray that someday your ego will not be so huge.
Give it up, Barry. You know that's never happening.
Obama, you know you could have just killed the skeleton guy instead of trying to get back your bags of gold.
Whatever, Trump, we're skipping back to the point where we died so the viewers don't have to re-watch us go through the same areas again.
Hey, boys, what did you think of that last Super Nintendo World Direct?
Oh, Joe, I'm so glad you asked. I actually really enjoyed it. The new Donkey Kong area looks really cool, and that DK costume looked very accurate to his in-game counterpart. Plus, it's always nice to see Shigeru Miyamoto showcasing something he's passionate about.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Barack, but I wish they would make areas for The Legend of Zelda, Animal Crossing, and even Fire Emblem to better represent Nintendo as a whole rather than just the Mario series.
Well, Trump, technically Donkey Kong is his own series separate from Mario, but the two series cross over so often to the point that I don't blame you for generalizing it as the Mario series.
I agree that they need to have more series represented, but I don't think Fire Emblem is ever getting an area of its own considering it's too niche. Same goes for Xenoblade. But I think Splatoon could probably get an area of its own.
You are probably right, Obama. Unfortunately, Fire Emblem is not as easily marketable to a wide audience as Mario and Zelda. Anyway, it looks like Chester likes to hang out here at the Biden bunker and is about to sell us the most broken item in the game, the Phase Locket, which allows us to become invincible for like 3 seconds.
It's interesting how this game pays tribute to the NES era of games which were known for being unfair, archaic, and brutally difficult. But this game takes the opposite approach and gives the player options to make the game considerably easier, as well as removing the live system in favor of simply losing gold every time you die. We probably won't abuse the Phase Locket except for bosses if they get too difficult.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt to use it every now and then if it would help us out. It costs a fair amount of magic to use, so it's not like you can spam it too much.
Obama, you do know that later in the game we are going to have more than 30 magic. As a matter of fact, there is an armor upgrade we can buy that gives us increased magic at the cost of decreased defense, which I'm guessing you're going to need because you're not very good at the game.
You're not very good at the game either, you goldfish cracker. Anyway, we might want to use that armor if it means we can spam our relics more. Don't forget that the bosses have double health, so we could really use the extra firepower.
So anyway, boys, what's the most stupid thing that you've ever done while gaming? For me, it would have to be the time I tried to unlock Waluigi in Super Mario 64 DS. The guide I was following said I needed to collect every coin in the game as every character and then enter the door next to the Wario door. I did all of this despite Michelle getting mad at me for spending more time gaming than with her and the kids, but unfortunately I did not unlock Waluigi, and I felt extremely disappointed.
Yes, the classic Waluigi and Super Mario 64 DS story. Well, for me, the stupidest thing I tried to do was trying to evolve my Dragonite to Yoshi in Pokemon Red and Blue. I remember I even tried to connect my copy of Pokemon Red, a copy of Yoshi's Cookie for Game Boy, just to try and evolve my Dragonite. I felt like a complete idiot when I found out Yoshi wasn't even in the games.
You're both morons, but the great Donald Trump doesn't fall for stupid hoaxes like those. Therefore, I've never done anything stupid like that while gaming.
Stop the Cap Donald, I may have dementia and all, but I haven't forgotten that time we were playing Super Smash Bros. Melee. You told me you were trying to unlock Sonic and Tails in the game, but we all know by now that they aren't in the game.
All right, fine, you got me there, Sleepy Joe. I did try to do that, but only because the Sonic the Hedgehog series means so much to me. I literally lost my marbles when I saw the Sonic reveal for Super Smash Bros. Brawl. It was simply tremendous to see the Blue Blur himself finally be able to punch Mario in the face.
Forgive me for the interruption, boys, but I believe the boss should be up ahead soon. So I was going to ask you, Joe, what should our strategy be against him?
I think as long as we are patient and sniping from afar with our flare wands, we should be fine, Obama. This boss is often a roadblock for newer players, but it's actually not too hard if you're patient and don't rush to attack him as much as possible. He moves around a lot, but his attacks aren't very fast, so as long as we take our time, we shouldn't lose.
All I'm going to say is good luck to the both of you.
Hey, Joe, what the hell? You're almost at full health. You should have given me that steak.
We'll be fine, Obama, don't worry.
I am the ultimate life form, Shadow the Hedgehog. What are you fools doing here?
Well, if it isn't my favorite edgelord.
Hey, Shadow, how did you end up as the Enchantress's servant?
Well, let's just say she pays pretty well. She gave me some $19 Fortnite gift cards, so now I can get some epic skins to style on that faker Sonic next time. Unfortunately, now I have to kill you all. So do try to make this interesting for me, will you?
You're a fool if you think you're going to be able to kill us. Obama and I are going to send you back to Shadow Generations where you belong.
Truthfully, I would rather be in my recently released goated game than to be here sparring with you losers. But money talks, am I right?
Money definitely does talk, Shadow. That is how I became the successful businessman that I am today.
Trump, if you're not going to say anything useful, then please keep your mouth shut.
Even I would have to agree. You're not even fighting me, so you should sit there in the corner so I can kill you later.
Even if I was playing right now, I wouldn't bother fighting you. I admire you so much, Shadow, and Sonic Adventure 2 was my life pack when it came out on the Sega Dreamcast. Would you please sign my copy of the game after we beat your ass?
But do you actually expect me to say yes after claiming you're gonna beat me in battle? I'll make sure to squeeze the orange out of you once I'm done with these other two clowns.
Hey, Shadow, you're looking a bit tired. Are you sure you can kill us like that?
I don't know what you're talking about. I am the ultimate life form, so I literally cannot lose, especially not to the likes of you.
You underestimate the power of the Democratic duo. But don't you worry, we are about to humble you soon enough.
Damn you all. I can't lose like this. If only I had that damn fourth Chaos Emerald, and I would easily disposed of you. But this won't be the last you see of me. Next time we meet, I'll be sure to hang your skulls on my walls.
First we meet George at Pridemore Keep, and then Shadow at the Lich Yard. Just how crazy is this playthrough going to get?
I was expecting this to be a regular chill playthrough with the boys, but it seems like this is going to be a lot more interested than I anticipated. So buckle up, boys. We're in for a wild ride, that's for sure.
Hey, Joe, look, it's Shield Knight. Are you not going to say anything about this?
No, not really Obama as much as I love Shield Knight, my beloved. I am just so shocked after those last two boss encounters that I can't even riz up my girl right now.
It's rare for Joe to not simp over fictional girls, so we should treasure this moment, Obama.
You can say that again, Trumpy. Anyway, I wonder who the next boss is going to be. Maybe it'll be the Angry Bird from Angry Bird Star Wars or something like that.
You're wrong, Obama, and I bet you the password to my Club Penguin account that it'll be Mater from Pixar's Cars.
Joe, why the hell would the Enchantress pick Mater out of all characters? I think it's more likely she'd pick a more intimidating character or person like maybe Putin or Thanos.
At this point, Trump, I feel like anyone or anything is fair game. But anyway, Joe, let's quickly tackle this side level real quick.
Oh yeah, this is the level where we just spam the phase locket and get a decent amount of gold.
Yeah, pretty much, Joe. Anyway, boys, I've been wondering where are we going to go eat after we finish this gaming session?
We don't need to go anywhere, Barack. We can just DoorDash a pizza from Papa John's and call it a day.
Nah, screw that, Trump. Everyone knows Domino's is better.
Y'all are crazy. Pizza Hut is where it's at.
Well, this isn't going anywhere, so we'll figure this out later. Anyway, boys, should we do the other side levels or just do the main stages?
I think the viewers should get to decide that. They may not care about watching us go through the filler content, as it's pretty much just a means of getting more gold.
Yeah, that's a good idea. In all honesty, I don't think these smaller inconsequential levels make for good content, but if the viewers like it, then we can do them all, I guess. There's only 2 more of these anyway, and then the Hall of Champions, which is more of a full level sort of, but it just so happens to be optional.
Oh, right, the Hall of Champions. That is the level meant to be a tribute to the Kickstarter backers who helped make this game a reality.
Yeah, that's right, Donald. It's hard to think that there was a time where this game's completion was at the mercy of Kickstarter. And now Yacht Club Games is a successful game studio that's doing well even to this day. They even managed to get Shovel Knight into Smash Bros. Ultimate as an assist trophy.
I really hope Shovel Knight becomes a full-on playable character in the next Super Smash Bros. Games. But anyway, boys, let's quickly go upgrade our magic stats since we've been stuck with 30 for this entire session.
Good idea, Obama. We gotta power up for next time so we can be ready to destroy whoever comes our way.
Or maybe it's just to ensure that you don't fumble the bag again like how you did against Black Knight.
Too bad there's no relic that can help you to not fumble like you did during that one part in King George's level.
Damn Trump, that was a nice comeback.
Whatever you say, Donnie boy. At least I haven't died to a boss yet, so I'm already doing better than you in that regard. We've all died plenty of times during the stages, but I'm the only one that is yet to die to a boss, and I doubt I'll be dying to one anytime soon, since I'm clearly the goated player out of all of us.
Only time will tell, Sleepy Joe. Anyway, Obama, I see you blew all our gold on magic upgrades, so we are now at 70. That should be more than enough to be able to tackle the upcoming stages with ease.
Yeah, Trump, I even tried to buy one more health upgrade, but we are too broke to afford it right now. Shouldn't be a problem considering we already have a decent amount of health.
Gotta love bullying this old lady, right?
Ha ha ha, well, she isn't real, so why not?
Well, viewers, we hope you enjoyed this video. This is the first time for our editor making a YouTube video in general, so we hope you didn't mind if there were some minor hiccups and whatnot.
We want to wish you all a nice rest of your day.
And may God bless you and your family.